My name is Luke Peretti, and I'm going to explain why I believe communicating through technology is easily the most important skill to develop in today's world. I say through technology because most people describe communicating through technology as simply texting or Snapchat, but in reality, it's a much broader subject. Ever since the invention of Morse code, technically the first form of communicating by technology, communication by non-face to face interactions has evolved greatly over time. Back in 1792, the telegraph was invented, followed by the landline telephone and radio in the 19th and 20th centuries, until the 1920s when printers and fax hit the scene. Then, in 1965, shortly following the creation of the internet, the first email is sent. Shortly after this time, portable phones were also very popular as a means of communicating with anyone in the world at any time. The world was constantly evolving, and communication had followed suit. However, before the use of communicating through technology, communication had never had an emotional tone like it does today. A great example of technology taking on a much more emotional and relationship-focused role can be found in the novel Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer, when Oscar and his grandma talk over their radios. They do this in order to keep a line between them when they aren't in the same room. Although their communication basically boils down to, "Are you okay?" and "I'm okay," it still creates another level of communication between them. By doing this, they are able to constantly check in on one another's emotions and feelings, a crucial part of communicating through technology. In today's world, this type of communication is most easily related to texting. The simple "how's your day" or "everything okay" text can be crucial in relationships and positively impacting people's moods. The Washington Post explains this much better in an article called "The Surprising Positive Power of Texting, According to Science," stating, "If done well, texting can improve interpersonal relationships, help people deal with traumatic events, and bridge intergenerational gaps." And research backs this up. A 2012 study conducted by psychologists at the University of California at Berkeley found sending and receiving text messages boosted texters' moods when they were feeling upset or lonely. Another part of communication that technology has helped evolve is passing on knowledge. Over time, the human race has constantly evolved and adapted to several problems and made incredible discoveries, and communicating these findings is crucial to survival and advancing in today's world. A great example of passing on knowledge through technology is the internet. As I previously stated, the first email was sent in 1965. Several years later, AOL was created, and as the internet grew as a means of communicating with people, websites and forums were created, most commonly just an empty page with writing or a chat room filled with basically anyone in the world. But in order to reach these magical places, people needed to have the URL or be on the same server or something like that, until September 4th, 1998, when a search engine by the name of Google hit the scene. Now, I'm not saying Google was the first search engine, but it's the first search engine to become mainstream, and it's still used today, so... Anyway, after Google became a gateway for people to access anything they wanted, the internet became much more powerful as a means of communication. Information could be accessed so easily, and tutorials for almost any problem people had could be found. Now, obviously, the phrase "don't believe everything you read on the internet" comes to mind, but an article by Dummies, the brand that has brought millions of books titled "Literally Anything Known to Man for Dummies," states, "Most people who are using a search engine are doing it for research purposes. They are generally looking for answers or data with which to make a decision. They're looking to find a site to fulfill a specific purpose. Someone doing a term paper on classic cars for their Automotive History 101 class would use it to find statistics on the number of cars sold in the United States, instructions for restoring and customizing old cars, and even communities of classic car fanatics out there. Companies would use it to find where their clients are and who their competition is. Research is the most predominant use of search engines, and research can basically be boiled down to just communication of knowledge through the internet. I mean, heck, I've just communicated this information to you through a video on your computer with information I found on a website from the internet. Crazy how that works out. Anyways, as I conclude this presentation, I would like to leave you with one final thought. Communication is essential for humans as it provides emotional/relationship support and information that can be useful for basically anything. And as the world continues to grow, communication has evolved into becoming much more based around technology. So in today's world, one of the most essential communication skills is the use of technology, whether that be through texting or phones, or just using the internet in general. Thank you.